So 4 years. The last 4 years is full-time strength and conditioning. How much have you seen? Like, it seems like schools are taking more interest in the strength and conditioning part of actually having a strength coach.
To me, it's grown exponentially because when I came to Concordia in 98, 99, there were very few schools that had strength coaches, very schools that had people like myself that were certified with the NSCA and all that kind of stuff. And today, almost every one of the private schools has somebody that's doing it, and most public schools have added somebody that's a strength coach, whether they're like I was, a football coach doing strength and conditioning, or they're just a full-time strength and conditioning coach. But even the public schools are adding it now. Whereas before, if you saw 10 of us that were at the high school level, that was a lot.
What's your biggest goal as a strength coach?
Biggest goal is probably, and I'm stealing a term from somebody else, but bulletproofing our athletes. In other words, making them so that they're as strong as possible. They're all that, but that they're able to play the game without being injured, without getting injured. So they're able to stay healthy, stay on the field. Because if they can't stay on the field, if they can't compete, they don't do their coaches any good. They don't do their teammates any good. So that's kind of what I try to do. We do a lot of stuff to get them stronger, but then we also do a lot of things to make sure the knees and the ankles and the core is strong enough to take the demands of the sport they're playing.
I think in the weight room, probably more so with guys, it can become competitive on weightlifting. How do you kind of temper that to making sure that they're safe when they're lifting weights?
My big goal is I want them to understand that every day we walk in the weight room, they're not competing against each other, they're competing against themselves. So we say we're beating the man in the mirror, and our other thing is we don't want to play the way we are today. We want to play the way we can be. So in other words, if I go out here today and I get the best bench I ever got, but then I never do anything better than that, it does me no good, because today you're not going to play football until next August. You're not going to play basketball again now until next October. So what I try to get them to understand is we're not trying to win, by being the strongest today. We want to just continue to build and build and build. And then hopefully by doing that, they understand that our goal is to be the best we can be come October when we start basketball, or just August when we start football, or January for baseball, or whatever the sport is.
Since you got here, I guess 23 years ago, how much have you seen? I mean, it's obvious that there's been a big change in strength because you're actually a full-time strength
Yes.
conditioning coach.
Yes.
Just talk about from when you got here to now, the biggest change you've seen.
The biggest change is this room. This room is, huge compared to what we have. If you go to our inside weight room, which was the weight room I started doing my training in, it's probably 40 by 20, 40 by 30 maybe, something like that. And, you're trying to get a football team of 60 athletes in that room to train. We had 3 squat racks, we had 3 benches, we had 3 incline presses, and we had some basic machine types of things, and that was it. And so everything we designed program-wise had to be able to fit into a squat rack, a bench, an incline press, and that kind of stuff. And today we have 15 racks in here, power racks in here, and we have another 6 inside. So I have 21 racks where I can get, 3 to 4 COVID related, it's a little bit less, but prior to COVID, you could get 3 to 4 athletes at a rack, and I could have close to, 50 athletes in this room working, everybody in their own area, everybody in their own space, and not have to. So the biggest thing for us is just the new room and the new equipment, having bumper plates so we're not banging metal plates on the ground, or, all that kind of stuff. So it's the fact that the school said we need this stuff, went out and got it, and then we've just added to it every year so that we're at 21 racks and have the stuff that we need.
What's the next step that you want to see your program take? Because I know technology is becoming a big thing in strength and conditioning.
What would be nice is, they have the things where you get the cameras for the racks, and you get the iPads that go on the racks where you can, the workouts on the thing, and the cameras videotaping everything, and the camera doesn't lie, right? So when you tell a kid they're not getting low enough on a squat, the camera's going to show them you're not getting low enough on a squat. So those would be some things that, like, down the road, pipe dreams. But really, for me, what I'd really like is I'd like a facility that was big enough to train every one of my male athletes at the same time, train every one of my female athletes at the same time. In other words, you got, say, 40 racks, and there's 10, 10, 10, 10, and those 10 are football, and these 10 are basketball, and these 10 are baseball, and those 10 are soccer. And then soccer, you're doing this, basketball, you're doing this, baseball, you're doing this, and then we go. Because our biggest problem is our time limitations. We're limited by time, and so we get an hour and 30 minutes but I got to get 4 teams through in an hour and 30 minutes because we only have 2 days a week of athletic period, and then our flex day, which is a whole nother thing. But so we're limited on time, we're limited on space, and so I struggle with getting a quality workout in the right amount of time to get everybody in here.
What's up? This is Ashton Jackson, and I'm here with the Lady Hawks.
Don't forget to follow all of our social media channels,
Especially YouTube.
like and subscribe.
Comment, and also spike it, the subscribe button, to follow all of our videos on our YouTube channel to keep up with all of the great content we're pushing out on a daily basis.